And welcome to Early Wilson Stadium as the Bradley Braves take on the UNLV Rebels. Game 2 of a 3-game set. Last night went 15 innings, and UNLV came back with 2 runs in the bottom of the 15th to take the lead. So it'll be Luke Shattuck will lead it off against Bradley Spooner, who will be pitching for the Rebels. We'll set the offenses and the defense as we get going here. But first, the first pitch. 59 degrees temperature and 9-mile-an-hour wind out of the southwest. But in the sun, it is absolutely beautiful. I'm sure the fans from last night are happy that we've got a nice, beautiful day today. A little bit of wind, but you sit out in the sun and no problem there. Big swing, and count now, I believe, is 1-2. Yes, 1-2. Shattuck batting .298, and that one just a little inside. 2-2 the count. So quite the game last night. If you were tuned in, you were tuned in for a while. This one is out deep, and that one is a leadoff home run for Luke Shattuck. 1-0 Bradley. The wind definitely is not going to hurt any ball hit out to that part of the park. That is Luke's second home run of the year. That'll bring up Brendan Doherty, the third baseman, junior, batting .227. Dan Bolt will follow him, and now Eli Rollinson, the number 4 hitter, will be guaranteed an at-bat. And that one goes out deep to right field. Smith will look up. That will hit the wall, and that will be a double for Doherty. So the first 2 Bradley Braves go extra bases, 1 for a home run and 1 for a double.
The right fielder, number 35, Dan Bolt.
Spooner did pick up the midweek win on March 1st against Bakersfield. He was on a pitch count, but it was an announced pitch count. He didn't go the requisite 5, but you don't have to in college baseball. He got the win and did very well, but so far unable to get an out, and that'll bring up Dan Bolt. And that one fouled straight back, 0-1 the count. We Bolt, Rollinson, O'Brien, Andy Shattuck, Keaton Rice, Nick Anderson, and Dominguez rounding out the Braves on offense. Bradley out of the Missouri Valley Conference. Peoria, Illinois. Shows bunt, pulls it back, and that one ruled not a strike. 1-1. Set the Rebels defensively here after the next pitch. And now that we've got a little bit of time, we'll hit the outfield left to right. Grant Robbins in left, James Gamble in center, and Max Smith in right. Around the infield, Dylan Johnson at third, Bryson Stott at short, Trevor Rosenberg today at second, Jack Thomas Wold at first, Bradley Spooner pitching, and Vince Taormina behind the plate. And the 1-1, and that one goes all the way to the backstop, and Doherty will easily get into third. So a little bit of a different start to this game already. It was 1-1 through 14 full innings yesterday. It is already 1-0, and Bradley trying to put on a few more here in the first. And that one outside, and the count goes 3-1. The 3-1 pitch, and that one in there for a strike, so the count goes full. Full count pitch, and that one right down. Wow. I was about to say right down the middle for a strike. I better get my strike zone. 15 innings yesterday. My eyes must be a little bit off. That one missed. And there are runners at the corners. So Eli Rollinson will come up to bat as he draws something in the dirt around home plate. Rebels will look to turn a double play. They have been very adept at that this season. And that one a big swing and a miss. In fact, as of last night, they were leading the nation in turning double plays. And the 0-1, and that one is a check swing. Taormina, it gets far enough away that Bolt will be able to go to second, thus pretty much taking care of a conventional double play. Was a strike, so I'm sure that's probably a pass ball, I would assume. Yep, so that one is a pass ball. So we've had a little bit of everything here this inning so far. Except so far, not an out for the Rebels. The 0-2, and that one outside. 1-2 the count. Both teams red based in colors. The 1-2, and that one, nice pitch. That'll be the first out and the first strikeout for Bradley Spooner.
Designated hitter, number 41, Connor O'Brien.
Spooner out of Lake Forest, California, went to Saddleback College, junior college transfer. And the first pitch to Connor O'Brien is a ball. 1-0 the count. O'Brien comes in batting .258. 8 hits on the season, 1 being a double. And that one, strike. 1-1 the count. Nice crowd here at Early Wilson. Now tomorrow's game will be a 1:05 start. So if you're coming out and joining us, make sure you note that. And I'll say this at least 3 times during the broadcast because I have been on radio for years, and even though you say it a bunch of times, people forget. If you're in Las Vegas, I know certain parts of Arizona, if you're watching, you don't have to worry about it, but yes, we do lose an hour this weekend. This is daylight savings time. Spring forward. We don't want you showing up an hour late to the ballpark or an hour late to the broadcast tomorrow. The 2-2, and that one is hammered foul. The count remains 2-2. Doherty on third, Bolt at second. The leadoff home run by Shadid. Luke Shadid, that is the difference right now, and that one fouled off. I'm sure if the Rebels could get in the dugout only giving up 1, they would sign up for that in a second right now. Spooner, one good pitch from perhaps getting a strikeout here and going a long way towards that goal. And the 3-2 pitch, and that one way inside. The bases will be... Oh, no, that was... So the scoreboard was wrong. It was right there. So now it is 3-2. Sorry about that. The Bruce Lane scoreboard was a little predicting. It predicted it was going to be 3-2. So now it is 3-2. O'Brien has 2 RBI on the season, so I'm sure he would love to increase that with one swing of the bat here. And, well, it's a good battle, I'll say that. He's making Spooner throw a lot of pitches. Timeout called. Connor O'Brien, one of the only non-Midwest kids. He's from San Diego, California, so I'm sure he's got some friends and family here in the stands. A short drive, relatively. And he strikes out, so good pitching by Bradley Spooner to get the second out. So 1 out away from containing this first inning. Now Andy Shadid comes in batting .205. He batted first yesterday. Really made some great plays in the outfield yesterday to make the game go a lot longer. I think the game would have been over in about the 11th inning, but he made a spectacular play in center field on, I think it was a Duke Pahukoha shot with a runner on, and that probably would have scored the winning run right there, but he made the play. But today he is down in the 6 hole and has an RBI opportunity right here in the first. Spooner's pitch count right now at 27 already, so regardless of what happens, this is going to be a inning that'll take a while. Now Smith, that's fighting a little bit of the sun, but he makes it. So good pitching out of this, only giving up 1. That was the leadoff home run. Rebels will have their chance coming up in the bottom of the first. 1-0 Bradley over the Rebels. So the Bradley Braves, their 119th season of Bradley baseball. That is impressive. Started all the way back in 1898. It'll be Brooks Goswine on the hill. Keaton Rice, after catching every inning, will still be the catcher today for Bradley. Rebels will go with Stott, Johnson, Wold, Williams, Smith, Robbins, Taormina, Rosenberg, and Gamble. So Bryson Stott, who walked, every time in extra innings, so 3 in a row. He had 5 total walks. 4 in a row in extra innings, right? Which, of course, in college, you can, just like in pro now, you can just say 4. So he would come to the plate, make a quick right turn, and take first. This one chopped right up the middle. It gets, Gaswine gets a glove on it. Let's see if he can recover. No, he should be safe at first. That will go as a base hit. So I bet it felt good for Stott just to be able to swing and not get immediately walked. Of course, Stott is a base stealing threat. Only 1 for 3 on the young season. Dylan Johnson, who had the game-winning RBI in the bottom of the 15th inning, which I'm sure felt really good after Bryson just kept getting walked in front of him, and Johnson had many innings before that where the outcome was not to his liking. There goes Stott on the very first pitch. The throw will be high, and Stott will get his second stolen base of the year. 2 for 4 now. That's the way to do it, just right away. And the Rebels have a runner in scoring position. John Wolf, the home plate umpire tonight. Tom Chandler at first, and Ray Liebel at third, even though with the 3 umpire crew right now, Chandler is actually at second because of where Bryson Stott is. So Rebels trying to answer right back here in the bottom of the first. We'll set Bradley defensively here. Oh, that is a very good pitch. And that will be strike 3 in the first out for the Rebels. So Jack Thomas Wold will step up.
Jack Thomas Wold.
Setting the Bradley Braves defensively. Left to right on the outfield, Eli Rollinson in left. Andy Shedded in center. Dan Bolt in right. And we'll get the infield here after the first pitch to Jack Thomas Wold. Bryson Stott on second, and that will be outside. 1-0 the count. Brandon Doherty at third. Luke Shedded at short. Christian Dominguez at second. Nick Anderson at first. And as we already said, Brooks Goswine on the bump, and Keaton Rice once again behind the plate. That one right down the pipe for a strike. Oh, to be young. After last night's 15 inning, I thought for sure we'd see another catcher for Bradley, but he is right back there, sophomore catcher, back behind the dish today. And the 1-1, instead no pitch. Nobody around second base. Bryson Stott easily back. Wold, the sophomore first baseman. He takes this one, and it will get far enough away. Boy, that is a wild pitch, and luckily for the Rebels, it got right behind Jack Thomas Wold. Took Rice a minute to kind of spot it, and now all of a sudden it will not even take a base hit for the Rebels to score the tying run here in the bottom of the first. And the 2-1, and that one low, 3-1 the count. You can already tell it's a high sky, and it will be interesting. Anything hit up in the air to the right fielder, you can already see second baseman Christian Dominguez kind of scouting the sun. And that one fouled off. The count will go to 3-2. That is definitely a very tough, especially right field. I mean, that is tough with the sun, and right now, not much of a wind. In fact, wind seems to have disappeared momentarily, but combine wind and sun, and that is a tough field to play. That one will be snagged by Shedded. Boy, he climbed the ladder there and took away an RBI from Jack Thomas Wold. And Jack Thomas Wold, I know he's only batting .222 coming to the plate, but he hit great swings, and they would be shots to the outfield and just right at the outfielders. So if he can just keep from getting that in his head, he's having great swings. Darian Williams steps in. He's the DH tonight, and he'll chop this one foul. 0-1 the count. So that's where baseball can be a very cruel game. Wold just some lasers last night, much like that one was, but just right at fielders. So it'll be up to Williams to get a big 2-out hit. His hit streak is at 13 consecutive games, and for him it was a good thing that the game went to extra innings because he did that deep into the night last night. So he's at 13, trying to make it 14 with a base hit, and the Rebels would love to see it happen right here. And the 1-1, and that one in for a strike, 1-2. If Williams can get on, Max Smith and Robbins last night each had multiple hits for the Rebels. So if Williams can somehow get on right now, the hot hitters in the lineup are the 5 and 6 hitters. And the 1-2, and that one chopped foul. The count will remain 1-2. Brooks Goswin comes in with a 2.93 ERA, 1-1 on the season with 15 1/3 coming in innings pitched. 6 walks and 11 Ks. And that one is foul. So count remains 1-2. Good job by Williams to see a lot of pitches. Right now, with about 6.5 minutes left, UNLV basketball on top of Colorado State, 51-43. And the 1-2, and that one is fisted into foul territory, but an easy play for the first baseman, Nick Anderson. So Stock gets on with the leadoff single, steals second, gets to third, but the Rebels unable to score. They trail 1-0 going to the top of the second. It'll be 7, 8, and 9 in the order for Bradley. Keaton Rice will lead it off, batting .267 on the year, the sophomore left-handed batter. Will be followed by Anderson and Dominguez. Spooner sets and delivers in the first one outside, 1-0 the count. That one in for a strike, and the count goes to 1-1. And the 1-1, and that one a big swing, and, well, I guess that was not 1-1. That must have been the third strike. The Bruce Lane scoreboard is playing tricks on me. So that is 1 out.
Number 22.
Nick Anderson comes in. And Anderson swings at the first one and fouls it up. 0-1. And the 0-1, that one in for a strike, 0-2 the count. Bradley has yet to play a home game this year, of course, being in Peoria, Illinois. The weather not exactly conducive. That one inside, 1-2 the count. Yeah, they'd have to be playing snowball there in Peoria, Illinois. From here they'll stay on the road. And that one, kind of a weak swing. Taormina will have to throw down 2 Wold to complete the strikeout. So that is the second out of the inning. That'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Christian Dominguez, batting 100 on the year, 1 for 10. Gamble takes a few steps over to his right to be more in left center field. Outfielders playing Dominguez pretty shallow. And that one outside, 2-0. So impressive yesterday, the control really by both teams. Not a lot of walks. And that one, misses too. Boy, I'll tell you, it is 3-0 to a 100 hitter. You got to make them earn that base, especially since you have the home run hitter. Misses on 4 straight pitches. So that'll give Luke Shadid a chance with the runner on. He hit a home run to open up this game, and that is the difference right now in the game, 1-0. Bradley over UNLV. That one in there for a strike. And the 0-1 misses, 1-1 the count. You seem to be in the landing pattern for McCarran today. So you will hear some planes and see some shadows go across the field from time to time. Which I thought if I were a pitcher, I'd really try to time it out. Get that shadow to help me as the ball is coming to the plate. Probably pretty tough to do. This one may work out. Let's see. Watch the shadows. 1 and 2. No, didn't quite. So you should have waited for the shadow. That'll be the second base hit for Luke Shadid. Oh, the shadow's still too far out. Never crossed. So Doherty steps in. He also 1 for 1. He had a double and then was stranded on third. And that one will get far enough away from Taormina. A wild pitch, and the runners move up. I'll tell you, when this inning is over, if they score, you're going to look back on that number 9 hitter getting a 4-base walk, or a 4-pitch walk. The number 9 hitter batting 100 on the year. Ooh. Now you got to face the tougher part of the lineup. The 1-0, and that one misses. 2-0 the count. Bolt on deck. And that one does get the strike zone. 2-1 the count. And the 2-1, and that one a big swing and a big miss. 2-2 the count. A lot of Cubs gear here. I see some Cubs blankets, some Cubs hats. That appears to be more on the Bradley side, obviously, from Peoria, Illinois, just a little south in the central part of the state of Illinois. And this one will go right back up the middle. Rosenberg able to glove it and throws across. So no harm, no foul. The Braves do leave 2, and we'll go to the bottom of the second. 1-0 Braves over the Rebels. Max Smith will lead off for the Rebels. It'll be Smith, Robbins, and Taormina. Smith batting .305. He's really brought that average up here in the last several games. Rebels were able to get Stott on the leadoff in the first, but unable to make it go into a run. And the 1-1 to Smith, and that one is a little low, I guess. 2-1 the count, and outside. 1 run, 3 hits for the Braves. No runs, 1 hit for the Rebels. And this one will be chopped down. I think he's safe. Dominguez pulled Anderson a little wide, and that was so slowly hit that will go as a base hit. That's one of those, see, that's where life in baseball is unfair. Jack Thomas Wold has been rocking the ball for outs. And Max Smith, he's on a hot streak. Little dribbler. He busts it down the first base line. It goes slow enough. Dominguez can't get to it quickly enough, and that's a hit. Grant Robbins steps in. He's also one of the hot Rebel hitters. Batting .304, and that one way outside. 1-0 the count. Oh, you'll definitely see a shadow this time, I think. Right field in for a strike. No? 335 club, maybe. Got the shadow, which I know you cannot see on the broadcast. They're down the right field line here at Early Wilson. That one chopped down to third. Ooh, a snazzy backhand by Doherty. That one thought had a chance to hop on over, but Smith does advance to second. That'll bring up Vince Taormina.
The catcher, number 11, Vince Taormina.
Vince steps in, batting .250 on the year. And that one misses. 1-0 the count. Rebels trying not to have this like yesterday's game. They left 19 base runners. Now, they won, so the end result's okay, but 19 base runners so far. They left 1 in the first. This one chopped to right, but let's see. Dan Bolt, Higgins puts up wisely the stop sign. That was definitely going to be an out at the plate with any kind of throw from Bolt, even hitting the cutoff. But Vince gets on, and we have runners at the corners now. That'll mean Trevor Rosenberg, the second baseman today, the junior, will have a chance to get the Rebels even.
Second baseman, number 48, Trevor Rosenberg.
Now you have Smith at third. Rebels used to love to do some suicide squeezes, but it seems to be less in vogue. Let's see what kind of bunter Trevor is. State of the double play. Get a no, that one will be 0-1. Gamble on deck. So if you're a Rebel fan, the number one thing you do not want to see is a double play, obviously. And if you're watching from Illinois right now, you want to see a double play. Goswine steps off. And there is the bunt attempt. Definitely not a suicide squeeze, as Smith was not busting down from third, but maybe a safety squeeze there. 1-1 the count. If he could push the bunt to the right enough of Goswine, that would be probably a hit. He'll try it again, and that's where he kind of tried to go there. I'll tell you what, Smith was well down the line. Of course, now the count 1-2. That kind of takes the bunt out of the situation. Doherty still playing well up at third. And this one right back to the pitcher. Let's see if they can turn two. No, they can't. Goswine has to spin around. And the Rebels will now have runners at second and third, as Termina is able to advance to second. Hit a little bit too slowly to turn two. James Gamble has had a couple big two-out hits already this year. It will require another one, or if he walks, he'll be up to Stott. And this one will be chopped, and this will be a tough play because Gamble can't fly, and that is, oh man. I thought first base umpire, Tom Chandler started to give the safe sign, and then he goes out. Oh, I don't know about that one. But it does not matter what we think here. It matters what he thinks, and it is no runs. Rebels strand 2, 1-0 going to the top of the third. Bolt, Rollinson, and O'Brien scheduled for Bradley. Bolt walked in the first, so he still is yet to get an official at bat. Big swing, fouls off, looks like Vince's noggin, and 0-1 the count. Now looking back at that play, we think, now granted, maybe we're looking at it with Rebel bias, but Campbell looks safe again there. This one stroked down, and that is a fair ball. That'll be extra bases definitely for Bolt. Let's see if he goes all the way to third. Wow, he pulled up very quickly. Smith did a good job in the corner getting it back, but he gave up of even trying to make it a third. About 2/3 of the way to second. If Smith had bobbled that or anything. But Smith didn't, and he got it back quickly, and that is a leadoff double for Bolt. So Rollinson will now come up. He struck out back in the first. And the UNLV Running Rebels up in 65-60, they beat Colorado State on the road. And it did not go extra innings. And that is a balk. Bradley Spooner cannot believe it. So some calls not going the Rebels' way here at home on a Saturday afternoon. Let's see if the Rebels can overcome it. And that one is a half swing strike, 0-2 the count. So Bolt now over at third after his leadoff double. Timeout called by Rollinson. Looks like he got something in his eye. And the 0-2. And that is a called third strike. Kind of a delayed call by the home plate umpire, John Wolf. But that is the first out of the inning and a big one. I'll bring up Connor O'Brien. Called third strike on a great breaking ball by Bradley Spooner. Spooner would love to get one more here. Good stop by Taylor Mina. Keep Bolt at third. And the 1-0, and this one is a big swing and a miss, 1-1 the count. And the 1-1, that one inside, 2-1 the count. It's amazing how, it's such a game of inches. And Gamble being called out at first, Stott would have been up, the game would have been tied. But as my mom used to say, if ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a great Christmas this year. So the key to a team is to fight through adversity, and Bradley's trying to do that right here. 2-2 count, runner on third. If he could get another big strikeout here, that would go a long way. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and that one is chopped down. Rosenberg will have to go to first, so the run does score on the second out of the third inning. So good pitch by Spooner. But, you know what? You got to tip your hat to O'Brien. He did the job. So now Andy Shadid will step in. His brother Luke, 2 for 2 on the day. And that one outside and high. 1-0 the count. 2 runs, 4 hits for the Braves. No runs, 3 hits for the Rebels. Top of the third. That one outside. 2-0 the count. And the 2-0, and that one is lifted up, popped up, hanging up there a long time. I'm not sure anybody sees it, and finally Rosenberg, because Smith was having trouble. So good job, good communication out there, and that'll be the third out of the inning. Go to the bottom of the third. Rebels trail by 2-0, live from Early Wilson. Bryson Stott will lead off the bottom of the third for the Rebels. They trail 2-0. Stott 1 for 1. He had a single back in the first, stole second base and got to third, and was stranded there in the first inning. Count is 2-1, and this one will be fouled off. So now the count is 2-2. Stott batting .346 on the year. Junior year, big year for college baseball players as they are eligible to be drafted. And the 2-2 way outside, 3-2. Oh, they're doing a big business today at Smokin' Sam's. I can hear them through the door. Selling those fries. And the 3-2 pitch to Stott, and that one is looped out to left field. Should be an easy play, but the Sun, wow. And he drops it. Now that's dropped in foul territory. So it is an error, but Stott will have to come on back. So Eli Rollinson drops it. He was fighting the Sun. He had to come in there. And as I said, that Sun this time of day now. So Bryson will get another chance. The count's still 3-2, and this one misses, so that will be a walk. So he gets a little bit of a break there. So Dylan Johnson will step in.
The third baseman, Dylan Johnson.
So Dylan Johnson will step in. He struck out in the first. Now Stott, last time he got on in the very first pitch, he got his second stolen base of the season. He does not go the first time here. That is a ball, 1-0 the count. And this one is tapped foul, 1-1. Goswine hasn't showed a great move to first yet, but he is a lefty. Let's see. There goes Stott, and this one, oh, beautiful hit, and the second baseman able to get it. Well, he throws, and Stott is safe. The throw was a little bit high. Stott looked like he got caught up on a weird slide, but it'll be runners at first and third, and I'm not sure Elvis Dominguez agrees with that call. From my naked eye, I thought he was out. I've got to admit. But I think you can see the umpire is saying that he tagged him too far back and his hand was already in. But it was strange because Stott kind of got hung up. The slide, he didn't really slide. He kind of stopped and then bunny hopped. As I said, I thought he was out, but I thought Gamble was safe at first, last inning, so there we go. Close play either way. In fact, both of them were close plays. The one on Gamble last inning was a close play too. So this time it is in the Rebels' favor. Let's see if they can make this pay off, down by 2 runs here. Runners at the corners, no outs. And Jack Thomas Wold, who has been, I know his average says 219, but he has been swinging very well and been hitting it on a rope, unfortunately for him, right at fielders. I thought he had a potential for 2 extra base hits yesterday, and I mean, just sizzling off the bat, and it just happened to find the fielder's gloves. 1 in right, and I believe 1 in center. And this one chopped. And as I said, that's baseball. Here, Max Smith is, been lights out lately, and he hits a dribbler to second, but it's hit so slow, it's an infield single. Wold is ripping it around the park, and he's getting offers to show for it. Did have a homer on the midweek game against Bakersfield on March 5th. That one almost hits Jack Thomas. And if you're going to get hit by a pitch, that would probably have been the one to get hit by. But he turned in the proper way. And the count now 2-1. So Johnson on first. Johnson has yet to attempt a steal. And that one outside. So the count goes to 3-1 with Williams, who is 0 for 1, but always looking to extend his hitting streak, currently sitting at 13. That was thanks to the extra inning game. This one is hit on a rope again, and this time it will pay off. Nice swing, Jack Thomas, and he gets an RBI. So the Rebels now pull within 1, the score 2-1 here in the bottom of the 3rd. Nice swing, but probably of his last 5 swings, that was the slowest hit ball, and that one results in an RBI single.
Designated hitter at Darian Williams.
That's just big for the Rebels to score one when there's a runner in scoring position. They've been kind of inept at that the last couple of games. So kind of get that going in the right direction. That is the 4th hit for the Rebels. Darian Williams now will step in, and he'll chop that one. Foul. 0-1 the count. And the 0-1, and that one is fouled off in the count quickly, 0-2. Williams, if nothing else, trying to make it a productive out and somehow get Johnson at least over to third. And the 0-2 to Williams, and that one is grounded foul down the first base line. So still 0-2, and the runners will return to their base. On an 0-2, I know it's a tall order, but boy, if Williams could yank it down the left field line, that's got triple written all over it. Rollinson, the left fielder, is definitely towards the center part of left field. They could put it down by that Smiths or Water Smart sign. That would go far. And it's a chopper. This will be tough because Williams does have speed, and they won't even try it. Good slide by Wold to make sure no attempt at the double play. So it'll be runners at the corners with one out for Max Smith, who is 1 for 1 on the day.
The right fielder, Max Smith.
Smith's average now up to 317. He has 7 RBI on the day. And the first pitch, big swing and a miss. 0-1 the count. So that's Johnson at third, Williams at first. And the hot-hitting Max Smith at the plate. And the 0-1, and that one is going to be fouled and out of play, and the count quickly 0-2. 0-2. And a throw over to first. Williams back standing up a little closer than we might have liked. Air Canada coming in. The Golden Knights play tonight in Vancouver, and there's a plane of Vancouver people coming to watch it in Las Vegas. Oh, those are smart Canadians. And the 0-2, instead a throw over again. Smith looking to get it in play, and this one, well, it will be in play, but it has popped up infield fly rule. Looks like the third baseman Doherty gets it, and that is the second out of the inning. So we'll take a 2-out hit by Grant Robbins, unless, of course, he walks, to extend the inning. Otherwise, it'll be up to Robbins to try to get a big base hit here to tie up the game. Rebels trail by 1 here, bottom of the third.
Left fielder, Grant Robbins.
Been so impressed by Grant's play in left field this year. And, of course, batting .298. Pretty impressive at the plate, too. This one chopped, a big chop, but nice one. Easy play for Dominguez over to Shadid, and that'll do it. But the Rebels do scratch across 1. It is 2-1 going to the top of the fourth. Rebels trail. Bradley, live from Early Wilson. Keaton Rice will step in, top of the fourth. Rebels down 2-1. 2 runs, 4 hits, 1 error for Bradley. 1 run, 5 hits, no errors for UNLV. And this one is popped up. Robbins takes a few steps in, a few more in, and puts it away for the first out of the inning.
First baseman, Nick Anderson.
Anderson now steps in. He struck out his one and only time up. That was back in the second inning. Spooner has 5K on the day. And this one is a swinging strike. I think UNLV Concessions is doing pretty well with the beer sales to the Bradley fans here today. I keep seeing them walking back and forth. I have a feeling probably back at their home park they are not able to imbibe on beer during a game. Just my guess. 1-1. Oh, that one is sky high. Robbins goes back, and that looks like it is a foul ball, and it does drop foul and short of the fence, because I know that's out of your sight line. Robbins was a few steps away, unable to get close enough to make the out, but it will be a strike, 1-2 the count. Spooner waits for Robbins to get back in position, and he does, and the 1-2 pitch, and that one is low, 2-2 the count. Dominguez on deck. Two balls, two strikes, and this one inside, 3-2 the count. And that is a strikeout for Bradley Spooner.
Second baseman, Christian Dominguez.
So Christian Dominguez will now step in. Christian, as I said, he walked back in the second on 4 straight pitches. He's batting 100 on the year, so let's see if Bradley can, there you go, get that in for a strike. And the 0-1, and that one a big swing and a big miss quickly, 0-2. Spooner's pitch count at 71, so maybe one more inning if he can get Dominguez quickly here. Remember, he did pitch midweek against Bakersfield. And this one is fisted out, and that will fall. Oh, wow. Good. I'll tell you what, that was a good pitch. And that was a good bit of hitting by the number 9 hitter, Dominguez. So you just tip your hat and say, good job. Now, unfortunately, that means Luke Shadid, who already is 2 for 2 on the day, will get an at-bat here. But Spooner put it in there, and something tells me if that was a wood bat, that would not have been a hit. That would have been a broken bat and probably just something to the shortstop. There goes the runner, Dominguez. Teramina throws. Good throw, but not quite in time. That was still a very good throw. So Dominguez now at second base with 2 outs. Showing really good speed there. Still a close play at second base. And the 1-0, and this one will be ripped up the middle, and that stolen base will prove fruitful for Bradley as they will get the 3rd run of the day for them and rebuild their lead to 2 runs. Well, hey, you know what? Good play by the Bradley Braves.
Third baseman
Gets them a run here.
Doherty.
So Doherty now will step up. 1 for 2 on the day. He had that double back in the first and was stranded at third base. So the Rebels get one to pull within. 1 in the bottom of the third, and Bradley answers right back. Throw over to first. Ooh, boy, I'll tell you what. Shadid was a little bit crossed up there trying to get back, but he did get back. Throw over again, and that one. Spooner has a pretty good move there. And a good throw over to first. No lollipop throws. He gets it over there quickly and well placed. And that one low. 1-0 the count. Doherty. If he can do anything, Bolt would be up next. Tomorrow's game, 1:05 start. And that one way outside. Shadid kind of jumped off of first a little bit, bunny hopped, and then came back to the base. There goes the runner way outside. That'll go all the way to the backstop. And Shadid will go all the way to third. Stolen base and a wild pitch is the official ruling. So now 3-0 and a runner at third. And that one in for a strike, 3-1 the count. And the 3-1 pitch, and that one in for a strike. Doherty did not think that was a strike and was ready to trot on down to first base. But the count now is full, and that is ball 4, and runners at the corners now.
Right fielder.
That'll bring up Dan Bolt, the right fielder. 1 for 1 on the day. He's walked and had a double. But before that happens, it appears to be Greg Maddox walking out. Got a mound visit. So Greg Maddox imparts his wisdom, and we'll go back. Maddox did play in Peoria. He played for the Cubs that time, the Class A Midwest League, the Peoria Chiefs. So Greg familiar with the home of Bradley, and that one outside, 1-0 the count. Back in 1985. Spooner falls behind 2-0 to Bolt. 2 outs, runners at the corners. Braves lead by 2 here in the top of the 4th inning. And the 2-0, and that one a check swing, and that will be a strike. Swinging strike. 2-1 the count. Spooner sets and delivers, and that one is high, 3-1. So Rollinson on deck. He's 0 for 2, batting 194. There is action in the Rebel bullpen. A right-hander. Can't quite pick off the number, but it is definitely a right-hander. Yeah. This one out of play. And the 2-2, there goes the runners, and that is a perfectly placed ball. It'll go out to Max Smith, and that will bring home the 4th run of the day for the Braves. So runners will remain at the corners, and Eli Rollinson will now step in. And that will do it as the second visit to the mound. This time, they've already called for the right-handed pitcher out there. When we return, we'll let you know who that is. Rebels trail 4-1, top of the 4th. Ryan Hare, the new pitcher for the Rebels. He'll come in with 2 on and 2 out. Top of the 4th, Rebels trail 4-1. Jean-Francois Garon steps in, pinch hitting. And the first pitch inside, 1-0 the count.
Hitting for Robinson. Number 37, Jean-Francois Garon.
And the 1-0, and this one will be chopped down, and that will get to Stott, and he'll make the long throw over, and unfortunately, now there's nobody covering third. Now there is, and he should be out because his hand went off. Okay, so he's out at third. The run does score, so it will be 5-1, but the inning is over. So Robbins in, takes the first one for a ball. 1-0 the count here. Bottom of the 4th inning. Rebels trail by 4, 5-1, and this one will be chopped down. Doherty steps in front and makes the play, throwing over to Anderson for the first out of the inning. Vince Taormina. Actually, looks like Casey Miller. Trevor Rosenberg now. And this one is chopped to short. Shadid gets it on the easy bounce. Throws over to Anderson for the second out of the inning. James Gamble now steps in, 2 outs. Gamble is 0 for 1. Even though it was a very close play at first, I actually thought Gamble was safe there, but it did not matter. And that one inside, 1-1 the count. And the 1-1, and this one big swing and fouled. 1-2 the count. And the 1-2 to Gamble, and then one outside. 2-2 the count. Gamble from Greenway High School in Phoenix, Arizona. And this one is chopped down foul. Count will remain 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch, and then one just slightly outside, 3-2. And there's that shadow we've been waiting for. Stott on deck. Rebels trail by 4 here, bottom of the 4th. And the 3-2 to Gamble, and that one outside. So it will be a 2-out walk, and that will allow Bryson Stott to come to the plate with 1 on.
The shortstop, Bryson Stott.
Stott 1 for 1 on the day at a single back in the 1st, and he walked in the 3rd. He also has a stolen base. And that one hits Stott on the first pitch, so he will meander down to 1st, and Gamble will advance to 2nd. So Dylan Johnson can get hot. It will do a lot for the Rebels, as he is coming to bat in the last couple days with a lot of runners on. He already has he is 1 for 2 on the day, has a single back in the 3rd. He did strike out in the 1st. Timeout is called. We'll get a visit to the mound. Nobody in the Bradley bullpen, so now the Bradley outfielders all get together in the outfield. So all the players resume their positions, and we will go with 2 outs now. 2 on, and Dylan Johnson. 271 on the air. Gamble and Stott, both with very good speed. And that one outside, 1-0 the count. Jack Thomas Wold on deck. Bradley scored 3 in the 4th. The Rebels trying to answer right back here in the bottom of the 4th. Two and 0. Goswine all of a sudden having a little control problem here. The 2-0, and that one right down the pipe, and that one gets by the third baseman, Doherty. Gamble stumbles coming around 3rd, but easily will score the 2nd run of the day for the Rebels, and it is now 5-2. I'll bring up Jack Thomas Wold, who, as we have said, has been swinging a very good bat, even if all the hits haven't been following. He did get a single and an RBI back in the 3rd to bring in the first Rebel run. Still no action in the Bradley bullpen. Lefty on lefty matchup. And the first one in for a strike, 0-1 the count. Count 0-1. And the 0-1. This one will be chopped down to first. Takes a bad bounce over. Nick Anderson tried to barehand it, and that will score. That will go as a base hit, and the second RBI of the day for Jack Thomas Wold. So a couple bounces there. There we go. Run batted across. Thank you, Mr. Calvert. Anderson almost barehanded that. It did take a bad bounce or a good bounce, depending on who you are voting for today.
Designated hitter at Darian Williams.
Now Williams steps up, and if the Darian can do something here, the Rebels could all of a sudden tie this up, or perhaps if he can go yard, take the lead for the first time today. So 5-3. Braves still on top. And Williams, that one is fouled off. 0-1 the count. It seems like, unfortunately for Williams, every time he comes up to bat today, he's quickly down in the count 0-2. Let's see if he can rectify that here. It is 0-1 right now. Johnson at third, Wold at first, and this one is chopped down. Let's see if another bad bounce or a good bounce. Whoa, bad throw. He's safe. That will score the fourth run of the game. Dominguez had all kinds of problems. You almost saw the ice cream cone there, and I think Bradley has to be kind of kicking themselves. So close to being out of this inning, but now it is back to a one-run ball game, and the hot-hitting Max Smith will step in. Smith 1 for 2 on the day, had multiple hits yesterday. Batting .311. And that one in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. So Goswine a little bit unlucky here with some bounces and some not the best defense there. That will go as an error on Dominguez. And the 0-1, and that one will be chopped down to first. Who knows what will happen, but this time Anderson takes it himself. But the Braves score 3 in the top of the fourth. The Rebels answer right back with 3 in the bottom of the fourth. We have a one-run ball game, 5-4. Braves over the Rebels, heading to the top of the fifth. Connor O'Brien, the DH, will step in. He is 0 for 2 on the day. Ryan Harris stays in, pitching for the Rebels. quite a different game than last night. It was 1-1 for 14 solid innings. Well, there was a time when it was 0-0 and then 1-0 for a while, but low scoring, well pitched game last night. A little bit more offense today and a lot of crazy hops. Sure, the Rebels were happy to have some of those crazy hops, and this one will be fisted off. Thomas Wold will go into a slide. It goes foul, and it is not in play, so that is a strike. Wold smartly went into a slide so as not to injure himself over there. So a reset. Count 2-1. And the 2-1, and this one a big swing and a big miss for O'Brien. O'Brien, as I said, the freshman out of San Diego, California. He's got some fans here today, and another swing and a miss as the plane flies over for a strikeout. So it'll be the second strikeout of the game for Connor. Andy Shadid will now step in. 0 for 2 on the day. Five runs, 8 hits, 2 errors for the Braves. 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Rebels. Shows bunt, pulls it back, and the ball. 1-0 the count. And the 1-0 pitch, and that one fouled straight back. 1-1 the count. Bradley 6-4 on the year. The Rebels 8-6. The Rebels 2-1 in Mountain West play as they have done their first road trip, going up to Fresno last weekend and taking 2 of 3. This one will be fouled off. 1-2 the count. And the Rebels won't return to Mountain West play till March 15th when they go on the road again, and they'll take on San Jose State, 3 up there. Their first home series in the Mountain West is March 29th, 30th, and 31st against New Mexico. And the 1-2, and that is a check swing. Did he go? Oh, no, he did not, which I didn't think he did, but 2-2 the count. Good call by first base umpire Tom Chandler. And foul tipped at the plate. He'll stay alive. And this one is high. And we'll see what the wind does to it. Back goes Robbins right at the wall to make the catch for the second out. And I think the wind is actually a little less than it was a couple innings ago, which is probably good for the Rebels. So Keaton Rice will step in. He's 0 for 2 on the day. He caught all 15 innings yesterday, or last night. And he's back in there again after a night game, extra inning. He's back in there, and he's chopping the ball foul and hitting it off of himself and hurting himself. Oh, the life of a catcher. Keaton 0 for 2 today, batting .250 on the year. He struck out in the second and flied out to left back in the fourth. And that one fouled straight back and quickly 0-2 the count. And the 0-2, and that one is fouled off again. The count will remain 0-2. Anderson on deck if Rice can somehow get on. He is in the hole, 0-2. Good turnout by Bradley, and a really good turnout. Rebel fans here today. That one bounces up there. Gets a piece of, I think, the catcher and the umpire. Now the wind is actually blowing to right a little bit. The wind is totally switched around. And the 0-2, and this one will be out to Stott. He gets it. Throws over fluidly, and a good inning for Ryan Hare. Rebels trail by 1 going to the 5th, 5-4. Grant Robbins will step in. Rebels down by 1, middle of the 5th will, as soon as Mr. Robbins takes a pitch, turn into the bottom of the 5th. As I said, Rebels trail 5-4. Both teams scored 3 in the 4th. That one outside. Goswine up to 75 pitches on the day. There's some action just beginning to start out. This one is out to right center, and a little bit of problem, but Garon, who came in a couple innings ago, puts it away.
The catcher, Vince Taramina.
Taramina will now step in. Vince had a single back in the 2nd. And the first pitch, and that one is in for a strike, 0-1 the count. Rosenberg on deck. 8-9-1 due up for, that one will go the opposite way, and Taramina is 2 for 3 on the day with his 2nd single. Good bit of hitting there. You probably start to see some of the shadows now crawling across. And this would really be, I'll tell you what, right field is an adventure right now with that sun. The wind, boy, the wind it's a fickle wind. There's now no wind. Rosenberg fouls it straight back. And the 0-1 to Rosenberg, inside 1-1 the count. Vince with a good lead down at first, but let's be honest, probably not going anywhere on a stolen base attempt. Or if he does attempt to steal, he might be going someplace and then might be back to the Rebel dugout. If Eric Van Metren's listening, oh, and there goes. That was a hit and run. I like it. Get those runners moving. Get Rosenberg focused on just trying to go to right, just a little too far, and that is a foul ball. So 1-2 the count. I was about to say Eric Van Metren, his days catching with the Rebels back a few years back, he got some stolen bases. I think one year he got double digits, in fact. That one low, 2-2 the count. We'll be doing some games on 9:20 the game later on, and I think Josh Towers, former MLB pitcher, and Eric Van Metren will be doing some color for us. And the 2-2, and that one a big swing and a big miss, and that will be the second out of the inning. I'll bring up James Gamble. James walked his last time in the fourth. 0 for 1 on the day, batting .276 on the year. And, of course, so important if he can somehow get on to turn that lineup back up and let Bryson Stott hit again with some runners on rather than leading off an inning. And this one will be chopped down. Easy play to third. Doherty throws over, and that will do it. So after a lot of scoring in the third by both teams, they both settle on down. We'll go to the sixth. 5-4. Rebels trail by 1 to the Braves. Eight, 9-1 for the Braves. Nick Anderson leads it off. Ryan Hare still in there pitching for the Rebels. That one in for a strike. 0-1. They count. So 5-4, top of the sixth. One the count. And the 1-1, and that one in for a strike, 1-2. Just misses, 2-2 the count. Anderson has struck out twice today, trying to avoid his third strikeout on the day. And the 2-2 way outside. Hare not too happy with that one. Not the call on his own pitch, I should say. It was definitely a ball way outside. And the 3-2, and that one in for a called third strike. And Anderson will not remember Vegas kindly so far. He is having a tough time here in Las Vegas. That'll bring up Christian Dominguez, the second baseman. Came in batting 100, and he's 1 for 1 on the day with a walk. His batting average all the way up to 182. That one outside, 1-0 the count. Definitely want to try to get Dominguez, as that will turn over the lineup. And Luke Shadid is 3 for 3 on the day and having himself a game. That one fouled straight back. And the 1-1 showing bunt, pulls it back, and it is a called strike. And the 2-2 pitch, and this one is a big swing, but Taramina will have to throw down to complete the out, and he does to Jack Thomas Wold, and that is the second out of the inning. So Shadid will come up, Luke, I should say, as his brother also is in the lineup today, and he is 3 for 3 on the day. A home run back in the first, a single in the second, and an RBI single in the fourth. So Luke having himself a day. And that one way outside, 1-0 the count. Let's see how they. So Luke Shadid's average up to 340. Luke, the younger of the two brothers, and this one has popped up out of play. Let's see if a fan can make a good catch. On a third bounce, a very good catch by a fan. We'll take that. Third bounce. Call that a good play. Count goes to 1-1. And this one is hammered out to right, and something tells me Luke is going to be perfect for the day, and that'll be his second extra base hit. That will be a triple. So he has a home run, 2 singles, and a triple today, and it is the 6th inning. Good shot. He'll be coming up again.
Third baseman, Brendan Doherty.
So Doherty will step up now, 2 outs and a runner on third. Doherty is 1 for 2. He has a double, and he has walked once. That one in for a strike, 0-1 the count. And the 0-1, that one, good stop by Taramina to keep Shadid at third base. And the 1-1, and this one will be chopped down to Stott. Takes a nice bounce. He sets and fires on over. So no harm, no foul. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Rebels trail by 1, 5-4. Top of the order coming up for the Rebels. Live from Early Wilson. Stott will lead off the inning. He is a perfect 1-for-1. He has a single. He's walked, and he has been hit by a pitch. Goswine still in for Bradley, but there is now action in the Braves bullpen, so he's probably being watched very carefully here, especially with the top of the order, 1, 2, and 3. And the 1-0, and that one in for a strike, 1-1 the count. And the 1-1 to Stott, and that one is chopped down to first. Anderson backhands it, does a little spinaroo, and tosses over to Goswine for the out. What? They call him safe? Oh, wow. Foot was off the bag, so that was the kind of the trouble when the pitcher covers. I must admit, I started to look down. So it'll be an E1.
Third baseman, Dylan Johnson.
So Stott's safe on the error. They're going to give the error to the pitcher as he could not find the bag. Stott does have a stolen base today. Dylan Johnson, his last 2 at-bats have resulted in a single. This one should be a tailor-made double play, even though a little bobble by Dominguez, but it turns 2, and that will erase Stott off the base pass, and that'll be 2 outs with Jack Thomas Wold now coming up. Old 2 for 3, and this one will be, I'll tell you what, nicely stroked again, and it actually gets by a diving Garon. Wold will motor all the way to second base and stop there with a 2-out double. So Jack Thomas, as we talked about coming in the game, he's been getting great swings, not a lot of hits, but today the hits are falling in as he is now 3 for 4 on the day. And the tying run is in scoring position in the bottom of the 6th as the Rebels trail by 1. Now, Darian Williams looking to extend his 13-game hitting streak He's 0 for 3. Did reach on an error back in the fourth, but 0 for 3 on the game. That one gets the outside part of the plate for a strike. 0-1 the count. And the 0-1, and that one outside. 1-1 the count. Smith on deck. So 10 hits for the Rebels, but they still trail by 1, even with the Braves' 2 errors. And the 1-1, and that one in for a strike. 1-2 the count. And the 1-2 to Williams, and this one inside and low, but not far enough away from Rice to allow Wold to get to third. So 2-2, 2 outs. Wold on second, and this one will go the other way, and that will extend the hitting streak. Higgins is running him home. A good throw will get him. It goes one bounce, and he is out at the plate. Good throw by Gueron in right field, and that'll do it. We'll go to the top of the seventh. Rebels trail by 1, 5-4. Live from Early Wilson. Dan Bolt steps in for the Braves as they lead here, top of the seventh, 5-4. 5 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors for the Braves. 4 runs, 11 hits, no errors for the Rebels. Ryan Hare still in there, and that one high. 1-0 the count. And the 1-0, and that one right down the pipe for a strike. 1-1 the count. Bolt 2 for 2 on the day. He walked back in the first, and he has a double and a single and an RBI. One outside, 2-1. And the 2-1, and that one is hammered out to right. Smith fighting the sun, and he can't see it, and that'll get by him and roll all the way to the wall. I told you that right field is tough. And that'll be what Dick Calvert will call a sun double. Unfortunately, this is a tough time of year, especially hope for a few more clouds there.
The right fielder
blocking the sun.
Jerome.
Jerome steps in, playing right field. He had problems in right. I'll tell you, if you can just get it out to right field, you never know what'll happen. So more importantly, for the Braves, that's the leadoff runner on in scoring position. Shows bunt, he pops it up, and Hare, wow, makes a great play. Is everybody okay? Taormina appears like his back he might have hurt, but they didn't crash together, so that is an out. Pop up to the pitcher. We have seen some bad bunting by both teams in this series so far.
Designated hitter, Connor O'Brien.
O'Brien will step in. Good play by Hare, though, especially with Taormina. They almost met in the middle there. Another good fielding by a Rebel pitcher, which we have seen a lot of this year. And that one in for a strike, 0-1 the count. O'Brien 0 for 3. He does have an RBI and has struck out twice, batting .235 on the season. And the 0-1, and that one in also for a strike, so quickly 0-2. Beautiful day. Game time temperature at start at 59. Probably right around that still, maybe dropped a degree, even though the sun is disappearing here in the stands. And the 0-2, that becomes a 0-3. And Ryan one batter away from making that double, sun-aided double, not hurt on the scoreboard.
Center fielder, Andy Shedden.
So Andy Shedden, who was batting 191, 0 for 3 on the day. Had a tough day yesterday, too. Not in the outfield, though. Made some great plays in the outfield, but it will take Hare to bear down here and try to get out of this inning and allow the Rebels to get up to bat in the bottom of the 7th, only trailing by 1. Rebels trailed by 1 twice yesterday, once in regular innings, and they came back and tied it up, and then they fell behind, believe it or not, in that 15th inning. They were down 2-1, and then they scored 2 in the bottom of the 15th to win the game. I'd say they left Baker's dozen on, but they left one more than a Baker's dozen. 14 yesterday. That went in for a strike, 0-1 the count. And the 0-1, and that one is hammered out to right field. That's going to be dropping in for an extra base hit. Gamble plays it well off the wall, but that will score a run, and Shadid delivers here in the top of the 7th with his 6th run for the day for the Braves.
The catcher, Keaton Wright.
So a big 2-out hit for the Braves gives them a little bit of insurance here in the 7th. Keaton Rice will now step in. He had his catcher's gear partially on. He had to shed that when Shadid hit to the double. That one high, 1-0 the count. The blankets are coming out for the fans in the shade. They should just move a little farther down. They'd be in the sun. Later on in the season, when it's 95 out here, people will be looking back in the shade. Everybody will be moving out of the sun into the shade. 2-0, 335 club. Probably a beautiful day out there. Right field. Nick Anderson on deck. And the 2-0 to Rice. That one misses also. So 3-0 now to Rice. And they're just going to not even worry about that fourth pitch and put Rice on base. And that'll bring up Nick Anderson, who is 0 for 3 on the day. So timeout called. They'll have a little huddle with Anderson with 2 outs. And action will resume now. Anderson has struck out 3 times today. He has 2 runners on, and the first one inside, 1-0 the count. Here sets and delivers to Anderson. That one is fouled off. 1-1 the count. And the 1-1, and that one low. 2-1 the count. Anderson is the guy you want to be aggressive to if you're a Rebel pitcher. But Anderson is showing good patience there. Thought he might swing at that last pitch. And the 2-1, and that one swing and a miss, so the count 2-2. 6-4 here, top of the 7th, 2 on for the Braves. And the 2-2 to Anderson, and that one is hammered down just past a diving Johnson, and Anderson breaks out of the slump to deliver an RBI single down into left field. And the Braves put up 2 so far here in the top of the 7th and lead 7-4, and that is their 12th hit of the day. What a difference a day makes. Yesterday in 15 innings, it combined 5 runs. Today, in 6 and change, already 11 runs combined. So now Dominguez, that is the son of the head coach, Elvis Dominguez, steps in. He is 1 for 2 on the day. And the first one, a big swing and a miss. It'll be 5, 6, and 7. Smith, Robbins, and Taormina due up for the Rebels in the bottom of the 7th, as the game now is about 2 hours and 10 minutes old. That one in for a strike, and quickly 0-2. Dominguez, the 22-year-old senior, has 2 older siblings, Brienne and Brooke. That one outside, 1-2 the count. Of course, the Bradley coach, a appropriate name for Las Vegas. First name, Elvis. Oh, That one will drop foul. Foul ball. Count will remain 1-2. Dropped about a foot and a half in foul territory down the left field line. Wind now blowing a little bit out to center. Hare sets and delivers the 1-2 pitch. That went way outside. 2-2 the count. Not even close. And the 2-2, and that one misses. The count will now go full, so the base runners will be going. An extra advantage for Bradley. Once again, in their 119th season of baseball. That's pretty amazing. And the runners go, and this one is, now, it's in right field. This is by no means a gimme to Smith, but he puts it away. But the Braves scored 2. They lead 7-4. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th. Rebels trail by 3. Max Smith steps in, the bottom of the 7th, and a new Bradley Braves pitcher. It is David Fleeta. Number 42, the big right-hander delivers to Smith. The first one high for a ball. That one also misses. 2-0 the count. And that one in for a strike. 2-1 the count. And the 2-1 from Fleeta, and that one is popped up. And Rice comes back and just in front of the fencing makes the out. So, pop up to the catcher in foul territory for the first out of the 7th inning. Grant Robbins now steps in, 0 for 3 on the day. He was collecting the hits last night, but today so far looking for his first one. Rebels do have 11 hits, but they trail by 3, and that one in for a strike, 1-1 the count. And the 1-1, and that one is popped up to left field. Bolt not having problems with the sun in left field looking that way, so that is pretty routine, and that is quickly 2 outs. Taormina steps in, batting 2. Or actually now, after going 2 for 3, he's up in the 3s. He's now batting .304. And Fleeta sets in, delivers in that one in for a strike. Fleet out of Park Ridge, Illinois. This one will be chopped down. Should be pretty easy for Dominguez. He flips it over, and a very good inning of work for David Fleeta. Go to the top of the 8th. Rebels trail by 3, 7-4, live from Early Wilson. So just as a correction, that was actually Jed Moscott wearing 42. So Jed Moscott, the right-handed pitcher from Pacific Palisades, was the one that came in and quickly got the Rebels out 1-2-3. So Luke Shadid, we do know who that is. He's 4 for 4 on the day, and he'll take the first one for a ball, 1-0 the count. Ryan Hare's still in there for the Rebels. His pitch count at 62. And that one farther outside, 2-0 the count. So Moscott was the pitcher for the Braves. And the 1-1, and that one is fouled off. And this one chopped, and that will be a fair ball. And Shattuck will get the cycle with a home run in the first, 2 singles, a triple in the 6th, and now a double in the 8th inning. And cheers, well deserved,
Third baseman, Brendan Doherty.
from the Bradley dugout. Wow. Well, there you go. And we will get a pitching change for the Rebels. We'll let you know who the new pitcher is when we come back. Doherty steps up against the new Rebel pitcher, Matthew Mitchell. And the first one high for a ball. 1-0 the count. Top of the 8th, Rebels trail by 3. And the 1-0, and that one chopped just fair down the first base line. Boy, oh boy, that was close. That'll go extra bases, and Bradley opening this up with a triple there by Doherty. So Bradley's got their hitting shoes on today, 14 so far. And they put up 8 now. Dan Bolt, a big part of that offense. He's 3 for 3 on the day. The infield will come in down by 4 runs. big swing and a miss. And the 1-1 pitch, that one misses. 2-1 now the count. If things hold this way, the rubber game of the series will be tomorrow, 1:05 start. And that one is chopped foul. The count goes 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch, and that is a big swing and a miss for the first out of the 8th inning.
The right fielder, Jean-Francois Giron.
Giron steps in, the right fielder. 1 for 2 on the day. He got a single and an RBI back in the 4th when he came in. Doherty doing a lot of running down there at third base. And a swinging strike there. Rebels will have 2 midweek games against Washington State. Tuesday at 6:05, Wednesday at 1:05. This one chopped down. Nice play by Johnson. He tried tagging, and then unfortunately the throw went wide, but Wold saved an error there by coming off the bag and at least keeping the runner at third.
Designated hitter, Connor O'Brien.
So good base running by Doherty, not straying off third base too much. Johnson tried to get him and then was a little bit off balance when he tried to make the throw over to first. So now it's runners at the corners with O'Brien, who's 0 for 4 on the day. And this one, he's not going to be 0 for 4 anymore if that stays fair, and it is a foul ball by about 10 to 12 feet. So 0-1 the count. It's taking a while to figure out somebody's going down to retrieve that ball in foul territory. That is the delay, and now we are clear of stray baseballs on the field. And went in for a strike. Today's attendance, 626. 626. And that one, a strike, and no need to complete the play at first as first base is occupied. So that is the second out of the inning. That'll bring up Andy Shadid, the center fielder, who's 1 for 4 on the day.
Andy Shadid.
Trying to keep up with his brother, who's 5 for 5 and hit for the cycle. I doubt he'll catch him today on that. He did have a double and an RBI back in the 7th inning. And that one low, 1-0 the count. The 8th inning will be 8, 9, and 1 slots. So scheduled Rosenberg, Gamble, and Stott. And that one a swing and a miss. 1-1 the count. And the 1-1 pitch, and that one outside, 2-1 the count. UNLV about to get a little more crowded here this week as the Mountain West tournament, and there goes the runner, Garon. So now runners at second and third, and that will cause a intentional walk to get to Rice, the catcher, with the bases loaded. So you're putting a little pressure on Mitchell to make sure and throw strikes now. And the delay is with Rice getting off the catcher's gear.
The catcher, Keaton Rice.
So Rice betting 242 on the year. He's 0 for 3 today. He did walk his last time up. And for the Rebels to have a fighting chance, they need to keep it right here. That one outside, 1-0 the count. They are down by 4. This one chopped down. Wold gets it. He'll toss over to Mitchell, and that will do it. But the Braves do increase by 1. It is now 8-4. Braves on top of the Rebels, going to the bottom of the 8th. Pocola will come in and pinch hit for Rosenberg. So now we know, even with a different jersey, it is Mascot in pitching, or at least we hope, for the Bradley Braves. And Paukoa looks at that one for a strike. And this one is popped up and should be caught. Let's see who takes charge. Wow, and actually it drops in between 3 Braves harmlessly, and Paukoa will remain at the plate. Nobody took charge of that. Can't believe Elvis Dominguez is happy with that. Gotta have really the first base. Well, then again, that's the son. So that's a break for the Rebels there. And that break does not matter as Pahukoa strikes out for the first out. So James Gamble will also not come up to the plate. Looks like he will be pinch hit for by Jason Sharman.
Here at pitch. Bryson Sharman.
Sharman will take that one for a strike. Shadow starting to creep across home plate. And that one also in for a strike. And the 0-2 pitch, and that one low, 1-2. Bryson Stott on deck, so Sharman trying anyway to get on base. And the 1-2, low, 2-2 the count. And that one will be fouled out of play. The count will remain 2-2. That one caused a few Bradley fans to scramble around. A little of a hot shot into the stands. And the 2-2, and that one is fouled into the Rebel dugout. Tomorrow's start 105. If the score holds, it'll be the game to see who takes the series. That one high. 3-2, so a full count. Good at bat by Sharman to make Moss Scott work. And the 3-2, and that one is fouled back again. Sharman hitting 400. He is 2 for 5. So when you're 2 for 5, your average can really dance around. Of course, if he gets a walk, he'll still be batting 400. And he'll foul that one off. And the 3-2, and that one is away, and that will go all the way to the backstop. Sharman hustling just in case it gets far enough for him to advance another base. It doesn't as Rice gets back there. But importantly, he gets on, and Bryson Stott will now get to hit with a man on base. College baseball, now lead is safe. So Stott 1 for 2 on the day. He has been on base every time because the last time he got on by an error by the pitcher. So a single walk hit by pitch. And an E1 allowed him to get to first. And the first pitch, that one outside, 1-0 the count. Dylan Johnson on deck. He's 2 for 4 on the day. And Jack Thomas Wold, 3 for 4. So important couple of at-bats here for the Rebels. That one outside, 2-0 the count. Patrick Armstrong, first base coach, goes over and whispers something in Sharman's ear. Kevin Higgins at third base coaching duties, as he always is for the Rebels. And that one does get a part of the plate. 2-1 the count. There is action in the Bradley dugout behind a pole, so I cannot see if it's a lefty or a righty, but I can see action down there. And the 2-1, and that one is a big swing and a big miss. 2-2 the count. Bryson sets himself. And that one misses, so the count goes to 3-2. In case you're wondering, it'd be 8-9-1 due up for Bradley in the top of the ninth. Which means Luke Shattuck will get another at bat. He already has a cycle, so he could just add to that. 3-2, and that one will be fouled out of play. The count remains 3-2. Sharman kind of halfway off of first. Had a good lead there. And the 3-2, there goes Sharman, and this one is a swing and a miss. That is a strikeout. Sharman does get to second base, so a stolen base for Sharman. Stott strikes out, and that'll bring up Dylan Johnson now with 2 outs and a runner on second.
Third baseman, Dylan Johnson.
Johnson 2 for 4 on the day as an RBI. And this one is a swing and a miss. 0-1 the count. Moscott is wheeling and dealing. That went inside. I'm sure fans of the Braves thought they were in good shape when they took the lead in the 15th inning last night before the Rebels came back and won it in the bottom of the 15th. So they don't want to get the Rebels any hope here by scoring anything. And Dylan Johnson, that'll go foul, into the dugout area, bullpen area of the Rebels. And that one will be hammered out for a single. That should easily score Sharman, and that is the second RBI of the day for Dylan Johnson. The Rebels pull within 3, and Jack Thomas Wold, who's 3 for 4 on the day, will step into the batter's box.
First baseman, Jack Thomas Wold.
In fact, even his lone time he's been put out, was a line shot that Luke Shadid, the shortstop, had to climb the ladder and just got his glove on it. Jack Thomas, that one squirts foul down the left field line. And this one will be dribbled back to the pitcher. The pitcher, Moscott, will toss over, and that'll do it. Rebels do get within 3. We'll go to the top of the 9th. Bradley leads, live from Early Wilson. Anderson steps in. Paukoa now at second, and Sharman now in center field. And a big swing and a miss, and 0-2. And that one will be a shot to Wold. Nifty work. He flips it to Mitchell for the first out of the ninth. Christian Dominguez steps in.
Second baseman, Christian Dominguez.
And he'll take this one and foul it off. 0-1 the count. Nice play by somebody in the Rebel bullpen. Caught that, but that does not count as an out. Luke Shadid on deck. He already has a cycle. 5 for 5. And this one is out to center field. Sharman goes back, and puts it away for the second out of the inning. So if the Rebels somehow tie this up, we go to extra innings. Could we see a double cycle here today?
The shortstop, Luke Shadid.
So Luke has a home run, a single, a triple, and he finished off the cycle in the 8th with a double. And that one misses. 1-0. And this one will be hammered out to right field. Smith comes in, and that is the first time the Rebels retire Luke Shadid. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth. Rebels trail by 3. Rally time for the Rebels. So Williams has extended his hit streak, so that is safe. So he's now hit in 14 consecutive, but Rebels need some base hits here, get some runners on, and give them a chance. They're down by 3. And they've got some good part of their lineup, 4, 5, and 6. Williams, Smith, and Robbins due up. And a big swing and a miss, 0-2. The Shadows, probably not exactly helping the batters right now. Pitcher in full sunlight, so that one way outside, 1-2 the count. And the 1-2, and that will do it for Williams. Smith will come up 1 for 4 on the day as a single way back in the second inning. So as I said, if the score holds, tomorrow will be the determinating game to see who wins this series. 105. And Smith takes that one for a strike, 0-1 the count. Moscott doing a great job. Once we knew who he was, didn't matter. Even when we didn't know who he was doing a great job. 1-1 the count. And that one low, 2-1. Rebels need to get 2 runners on to get the tying run to the plate. See if Max Smith can somehow work his way on base. The 2-1, and he swings 2-2 the count. That one is in foul territory and drops untouched. Doherty tried to get over there, but it wasn't high enough to do that. So Smith will stay at the plate. 2-2 the count. And the 2-2, and that one is outside, so the count goes full. And that one is popped up, should stay in play. It'll be in foul territory, but the first baseman, Anderson, puts it away for the second out of the inning. So the Rebels down to their last out, and it's Grant Robbins who will try to extend the game.
Fielder Grant Robbins.
And that one inside, 1-0 the count. And the 1-0, and that one low and inside, 1-1. That one in for a strike, so the Rebels down to their last strike. And the 1-1, and that one is checked and will remain fair. Rice throws him out, and Bradley takes the second game of the series, so it's tied up at 1 apiece in the series. 8-5, the final score. We'll be back tomorrow at 1:05. Remember, we lose an hour. Till tomorrow, this is Doug Douglas. Bye-bye.